Ebusia, you are welcome to DH Policies Avenue. A year Justice Tokonu Nehum Sema Aba, he has been removed from office now. A year Committee of Inqury na ene yebo omabaso NDC nebi ebo omabaso say they have done a great job. A year say yebo omo abaso because Article 146 in the Constitution wasn't there as an ornament. Name it was there to be applied. Enti sene said that Justice Tokonu Enwaka na mmara no na adwuma nti they sends a caution to the international body say ɔmo hu sɛ constitution no ɛna ɔmo de yɛ adwuma na mmom ɛnyɛ sɛ ɔmo de ɔmo ni bɛhwɛ anaasɛ ɔmo bɛte biribi na ɔmo bɛka sɛ ɛni mmara no mu na they are sending a caution to them na deɛ bia they will write to them so nti mo ma yɛ mo mmra yɛ nsɛm ni mu na yɛnkɔhwɛ nsɛm a ɛyɛ NDC panyin ɛkafa Justice Tokonu removal no.
And I tell you, with excitement and with pride, that I am overly excited about the job of the committee, of Commission of Inquiry. Because I remember in the heat of the campaign, I monitored Madam Tokono. That's finally. I monitored Madam Tokono, and I was around Sabulugu constituency, and I felt sad in the car throughout our campaign. And my brother, now Deputy Minister of Roads and Highways, kept on asking me what the issue was. And I played the video when they were dealing with the parliamentary issue. And I said that, look, I have sat in a law class. I have appeared before judges in the United Kingdom. I have appeared before judges in Ghana. I never experienced that display of arrogance and disdain for our judicial system. In less than 10 minutes, the revered Kwesi Pratt Jr. called my brother on the line. I was like, are you guys watching the conduct of the Chief Justice on air? Is this the kind of image we want to sell to the international community? So for me, this is a huge blessing to the Republic of Ghana. And a communication to our international observers that this country will invoke the laws unless they are not in our constitution to get things right. And Article 146 was not put in our constitution as an ornament to be worn. It was put in there to apply. And I hope and pray that the MPP will see the sense to join us in this crusade to reset our judiciary. Unless, of course, they are interested in using it to continue to hound the likes of Solo.
In the sense that what happened in Akwatia was expected, in all honesty.
Really?
We were quite certain that the National Democratic Congress was going to take the Akwatia seat. And so the outcome is not really that surprising to us as a political party and as a government, because we put in so much work into it. And we were convinced that even in the 2024 general election, we had won that particular seat.
Yeah, I was going to ask if the results of this one vindicates that position.
In a way, arguably, so it is a vindication of what we believed was the outcome of the 2024 general election. So it is not surprising to us. But you see, I listened to Engineer, and in all honesty, sometimes the way my brother speaks and seeks to create an impression that when it comes to the politics of this country, the NDC and the MPP and all other political parties, with the exception of the CPP and himself, are disingenuous when it comes to service to the Republic of Ghana. We have never claimed perfection as far as our service is concerned. Not at all. We've never. That is an election. And we've had challenges with our electoral processes. And prior to this particular election, the Ghana Police Service, for the first time, engaged in ways many people commended them for. They engaged stakeholders, they engaged the political parties, and engaged the Electoral Commission of the Republic of Ghana to understand their mapping for the said by-election. Because we've always been complaining about election-related disputes, especially when it comes to by-elections. So there was the need for Akwatia to be a test case scenario for the Ghana Police Service in terms of how they could effectively police our electoral processes to ensure that we nip this associated violence in the bud.
They didn't have to take 5,500
They
officers.
did not take 5,500 men. That is inaccurate. Per the information I have, and I think in about 500 policemen were deployed on the day of the election. I heard him say that we carried ministers and we carried, what's the name, soldiers. Did you see any military officer deployed in Akwatia? That is inaccurate. And we should not, at the back of sensationalism, create this kind of picture because we want to run down everything democracy in this country, thinking that we are actually projecting it. I can understand that my brother has a problem with our democratic model, but that is what the 1992 Constitution gives us. That is what, as a people, we have decided to embrace. It is either he is part of that democratic journey or he embarks on another campaign to develop his own model of representation for the good people of this country.
It can be better practiced.
It can be better practiced, but if listening to him on weekly basis, it is clear that he has a serious issue with our democracy.
Or with how it is being practiced.
No, it is not about how it is being practiced. It is about democracy. He finds absolutely nothing attractive. Have you ever listened to him make references to anything positive about our democracy? Absolutely not. And you see, I have cautioned on this table that we have to be very careful, even in our commentary, because that is what we have. And the more we talk down upon it, the more we give an incentive to those who may not appreciate the relevance of democracy to take this democracy for granted and usher us into a system of governance that we would both dread. And that is a military regime. We must be responsible. And for me, it is a worry, especially when it is accompanied by dressing up of the issues. Soldiers taking, ministers left their offices. Which minister? Which soldier? Did you spot in Akwatia? Which minister of state did you spot there? Who is already, the Tanko Rashid Computer is a chief executive, who is the deputy director of elections of the National Democratic Congress. So what are we talking about? And you have a regional minister in Eastern region not interested in what happens in his own region. So what is wrong if the Eastern regional minister attends such a function? Our youth and employment minister is the current national youth organizer of the National Democratic Congress. Until he hands over that role. He is still a national executive of the NDC. So let us appreciate that. And if it has to do with Galamsey, you won't see that level of interest by the police and the level of interest by them. That is inaccurate. For some weeks now, we have been following the activities of the police. Even policemen were assaulted for trying to stop Galamsey. Let us commend them for that effort. Enough of unduly sabotaging the work of these servicemen, largely because of the differences we would have had, or we might have had with some of them. There's a new leadership in place that is working. That is why we have our soldiers on the ground. That is why we have the policemen on the ground fighting Galamsey. And the unfortunate demise of our two ministers. What they were going to attend was not related to the activities of illegal mining. And we had two ministers, national security operatives, as part of that flight. So what is he talking about? What is he talking about? Let us be fair to this government and the work we are doing. We may not be perfect in the kind of work we are doing, but I can assure you that that sincerity has been demonstrated by this government. And we would not be taken down by the negative commentary of my brother under the guise of trying to create an impression that he loves the country more than many of us seated around this table, including the NDC and the MPP. But that is, we all know that it is not true.
I don't know what the standard gauge of love for the country is, but
now, back to the Akwatia. No, of course, but you don't want me to talk about it.
Wrap up for me.
No, but don't say.
Or Akwatia, wrap up
don't
for
do
me.
that. I'll listen to
I
it.
don't want to do Akwatia. All that is,
You see, my brother, the greatest tragedy yet to unfold in this country, if we are not careful, is the failure on the part of the new Patriotic Party to appreciate the depth of the crisis that they find themselves. I'm not kidding. Look, go back to our electoral history since 1992. What is happening to the new Patriotic Party has never happened to any political party. And since 1992, we started sounding the alarm bells, and they failed to listen. We are talking about a political party that survives at the back of two regions in this country, Eastern and Ashanti region. We challenge them to build a political machinery that goes beyond these traditional blocks since 1992. Because they had carved a certain niche, either by accident or coincidence, for themselves. They took it for granted. They considered it as views of an opposition party. Again, they brought Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, His Excellency, as presidential candidate of the new Patriotic Party in 2007. As a responsible opposition party then, the NDC raised issues about the leadership traits of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and how it clearly could be a serious danger not only to the survival of the new Patriotic Party, but even to the republic of this country, Ghana. They said that, look, we are engaged in beating war drums. We are tagging Nana Addo as being arrogant. They took it for granted. And we told them that Nana Addo's candidature would be the undoing of the new Patriotic Party. Nana, today what we are experiencing as far as the electoral misfortunes of the MPP is concerned, look, out of 16 regions, these guys only succeeded in winning 3. Thanks to Dr. Bawumia, who added them North-East region. It should have been 2 out of the 16. Again, this is a party that lacks representation in 4 regions of the 16 regions in this country. Again, this is a political party that has at least one representation in about 4 regions in this country. Only 1 members of parliament. This is a political party that has lost in excess of 1.7 million votes. Never seen before since 1992. And now, when we cautioned that they needed to be careful in their problematic analysis of what the crisis they found themselves happens to be, they think that the solution to their crisis is the election of a flag bearer. And so for them, all the havoc Nana Addo in the last 16 years in charge of the MPP subjected them to, with the help of Dr. Bawumia, they are not appreciating it. They are yet to appreciate it. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia in the last 16 years did not only bring down confidence low as far as MPP politics is concerned, we all saw what they did even to the Ghanaian economy in the last 4 years and our democracy. They subjected our economy and our democracy to ruins. But when they were engaged in that, little did they know that they were not only destroying the economy of Ghana, they were not only destroying the fortunes of this republic, but they were indirectly destroying the fortunes of their own political party and pushing it to levels unseen. Since
are you laying the defeat in Akwatia at the doorstep of Akufo-Addo?
You see, I am telling you that the defeat in Akwatia is a reminder of the abyss the MPP finds itself, and as a serious political party, they must begin to do self-introspection and not think that the only way to solve their problems is an election of a flag bearer. That is the point I am making.
It starts from somewhere.
It started from somewhere. And I can assure you, we are committed as a political party. Our objective is to ensure that we make it practically impossible for the MPP to be the second force as far as our democratic process is concerned. Because the NDC is the NPP is the greatest danger. We've been consistent since 1992 to our democratic stability and our democracy and our economy. And they demonstrated that in the last 8 years with the help of Dr. Bawumia. Nana, finally, you see, you see,
land
you see, and even in their states, even in their state, they fail to appreciate the importance of data. I followed my brother yesterday. Everybody in this country, when Musa Dankwa started his research.
You leave it for me.
No.
You should have left that for me.
When Musa Dankwa started his research in 2024, they berated him, they insulted him, they questioned it. Many of them, after the election, had cause to come publicly and apologize to him. And I'm surprised my brother is not learning useful lessons from it. Yesterday, he was the one who led the charge, questioning again the research Musa Dankwa had conducted.
Ajana 1, Ajana 2.
You see, so they simply don't seem to appreciate the mess they find themselves. And for him, he ought to know better that the dynamics are changing and they are losing it on daily basis. Dennis is an intelligent young guy. You can't question that.
If I come and speak, just say your thing.
You can, no, wait. Let me make a point.
Hamza, you can't question that. 30 seconds.
He's an intelligent young man. And what I expect from him.
It's okay.
So I should leave it.
It's okay.
Okay, I'll leave it. I'll give you the advice behind this.
Thank you. Dennis, if not for 2024, at least for Akwatia, you don't think Musa deserves an apology?
I'll come to that. Let me stick to the substantive matter. Our democracy is bigger than an individual. So let me first of all congratulate the NDC for winning Akwatia by election. But I think the biggest congratulations goes to the people of Akwatia. And I was there, in and out. I'll tell you what, I think the resilience the Akwatia people showed is one that almost every constituency must show in order to safeguard our democracy. Yesterday was largely peaceful, at least as compared to Ablekuma North and the by-elections we've seen recently. And I think it is because of the people of Akwatia. They sent a strong caution to everybody coming there that this is our territory. Don't even start. And it was something that the young people in Akwatia constantly spoke about. They told everybody that, hey, don't bring your machos here. Or we are macho ourselves. And anybody that knows Akwatia knows that. As for them, if you want macho, or people who are not afraid of those things, you can find them there. And I think largely it led to everybody comporting themselves. Because the macho men were there.
Yeah.
Plenty. Some of your cameras even caught some of them. And you could see macho men now hiding behind trees and hiding behind pickups, because you can't do that in Akwatia. And I think this should be the beginning of the NDC turning a new leaf with their constant violence in elections. At least winning Akwatia without violence should let them know that you can indeed win an election without shedding blood. For the first time. This is the first time they won any by-election without shedding blood. This is the first time NDC has won any by-election in this country without shedding blood, and he knows it. And I think that this should be the learning curve. This should be the learning curve for them to understand that, oh, you can actually win an election without necessarily shedding blood. So when he speaks of things have changed, indeed things have changed. Our democracy has grown. Our democracy has matured. Then the next level of appreciation goes to the police. Come on. They were there. They showed presence. Me, I've always had my issues with police. But I always say that, should I have any emergency, I have nobody else to call than to call the police.
Yeah.
So always mine is to encourage them, critique where it's necessary, but encourage them to do better than they did. And I think that Akwatia, they were fine. But I still think there are little issues with our policing. Because, Hamza, if you still have a situation where even with the presence of the uniform, there are citizens who are bold enough to still attack other people, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Because people seem to think that our police are only there to, like they say in Twi, pata people, to separate people. And so they are no longer afraid. Because I see somebody throwing a punch above the heads of policemen to his. Come on, the person should be bundled immediately. So that others standing by will know that if you want to see the whole day, then you have to behave. I think that's a problem. The biggest shame of yesterday goes to Sofo Azoka. Wherever he is this morning, he should bow his head in shame. He should be ashamed of himself. He should be ashamed of his attitude. He should be ashamed of the character he has built for himself. And realize that, indeed, this is 2025. Violence has no place in our democracy. Violence has no room in our elections. But for Azoka yesterday, I don't think we would even have a single complaint of anything. There were macho men there.
Yeah.
Why? Everybody.
Every time I was so with J. Brema, I would share, I would say, Minimisa, Bessan, so is here. Na say ye share, Nayad in Sama, a chebu or memoir, a more shama, a more dunkwana, a besomo. Madam was some of J. Brema, would GH Politics Avenue. Nyame enkam yeda masi bebree yebesa nso ehia